Hey guys, and welcome to the birthday Q&A. So thank you for all the questions and thank you for joining me on this birthday Q&A. So let's just jump into all these amazing questions. First question, how long was I a nanny for? I did nanny part-time for about 2.5 years because I was going through school. And then I went full-time for almost 3 years, and yeah, I decided to step away because it wasn't a healthy environment for me. And, I took a step back and I got into kind of pet care and doggy daycare, and that was fun, and I'm kind of sticking with that. So, when the group of 6 was standing outside my house watching you, were your parents aware of this? If so, what did they do? How was your family affected by your behavior? Okay, so most of the time, no, they weren't aware of it. I was just kind of panicking internally. It was basically just to dick around with me, to keep me off guard. So no, most of the time they weren't aware of it, and when they did see them on the street, they just thought, they were walking by or whatever, because they did live in the area, so there wasn't nothing too alarming for them. How was my family affected by my behavior? Oh, good God. A lot. I mean, they knew I was probably dealing with a lot of shit. They knew some of it, but I was becoming very sketchy, hiding stuff from them. I was becoming very secretive because, I was trying to hide everything that was going on because I had, a whole bunch of shit coming from many different angles. And, I was an angry person when I was going through all of this. I was very angry and hateful towards myself. So I took all my anger and frustration out on my family, and that wasn't fair to them. I just didn't know what to do with my feelings and emotions and everything that I was dealing with. And I didn't, know how to talk about my trauma. I didn't know how to talk about what I was going through. I was being told that, I was a disappointment, and all this other stuff. And I was trying to be a better person, but at the same time, with all my emotions and off balance of behavior, of lying, not that I was sneaking out of the house, but there were certain situations that weren't very nice. So, okay, might as well, because I'm putting all my shit out there. There was an instance where my dad actually caught one of my abusers at the house, because like I said, they followed me home a lot, and they knew that my parents were at work and my brother was at school, whatever. And one of my abusers actually came into my house because they were threatening me and whatnot. And my dad came home, and he was royally pissed because he thought that I was, and it was bad because my abuser got pissed because he got caught, right? So it was, internally screaming and kind of thankful at the same time. I had to do damage control with my family and do damage control with my abusers, because the ass kicking that I got for that was not a good thing. A good experience. So yeah, I did some sketchy behavior, and I did, again, some things that I am not proud of, but here we are. But yeah, that's kind of, I put a lot of stress and pain on my family. So why do you think that my, I guess, ex started to control me, tell me what to eat and what to wear? Okay. I was a very, so I wasn't raised religious, so I'm not Catholic. But I was raised to respect myself, and dress a certain way and not be too revealing. And my ex and his friends did not like that at the time. They wanted somebody more eye candy worthy, if you know what I mean. Um, so he did start to kind of control what I wore, and if he didn't like it, he sure on said it, and his actions were degrading, and he wouldn't talk to me or look at me or, like, all of that. And for eating, I honestly think, again, my opinion, that he wanted to see how far he can push his control, and also he didn't want me to get fat. On multiple occasions, that's the whole thing, that, one of the things that they called me was, fat and all that stuff. And, I think, my opinion, I guess, for showing forth the actions, that's basically what I got out of it. Which province did they move to? Honestly, I don't know. A few of them are still here, in my province, and a few of them are scattered. I don't know where. I don't keep tabs on them. All I know is that they were out of province, from the grapevine that I've heard. Did you ask out your ex, or did he? Oh, okay. Neither. Yeah, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Okay, so I had this class, and I was in this class with my ex, and one of my other abusers, now this was pre-abusers, were in the class, and I guess he could see us talking together, so he asked me out for my ex, and my ex kind of didn't really know about it until the friend told him that I said yes, because he told me that he was just kind of like shy, and he was just like, yo, you into my bro or whatever. So, and then I found out that he didn't ask him, that he was just saying that he would ask me. It was a whole clusterfuck. So basically, he didn't ask me out, his friend did for him, that he didn't know, and then when he found out, he's like, cool, you're my girlfriend, type of thing, right? So it was again, okay, that was a red flag, but young, dumb, and 14, what the fuck do you want? How did your ex come on to you, or how did you come on to him? He was very touchy-feely, and he wasn't afraid to show it, right? So he wasn't afraid to show his claim, so he would grab my ass, he would go like all like, he would basically just stake his claim in public, like in the school, in the classroom, like when we had classes together. Basically, he would pull me onto his lap, and the teacher at the time did not really give a shit because she was a supply, so it's just like she went with it, she kind of laughed about it, like she didn't like really do anything. I was very, not sheltered, but I was very like timid, and I didn't put forth that, because again, that's not how I was raised. So basically it was mostly him, until like I did kind of come out of my shell a little bit and like, flirted with him, but that was basically it. I wasn't all like, grab his crotch in public, right? No. What else? When you say you were attacked and gotten pregnant, was it just by one of them, or, was it by all of them? So, right, okay. So, well, it's out there. Like I said, I don't know who I got pregnant by, and I'm just stating that as a thing, because there was a gang assault. It was a group of them, so would more than one of them basically assault me at a time? Yes. Was it all of them at once? No, not in that aspect. I mean, they did beat the shit out of me a few times altogether, but they didn't sexually assault me altogether. It was sometimes two, sometimes just one, depending on the situation. So that's what I kind of meant by I didn't know who. did you ever meet your ex's parents? Yes, I met their mom. Well, his mom, I should say. She seemed really nice. I know she didn't really like me too much because I was raised differently than them, and not to say that she raised. Never mind. I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot, but I'm just going to say that we were raised differently, and I know she didn't like the way I was raised because I was very, not timid, but I was very like, no ma'am, thank you ma'am, I was very respectful, and I don't think she liked that. Again, it got worse when we broke up because of just like everything that happened and stuff, and I was just basically white trash. It's a whole thing. His dad, I met briefly once or twice. Seemed like a cool dude at the time. When did you pass your G1 written test? And are you doing driving school? So there's a whole story to this, but a few years ago I got my G1. That's my like learning permit. I did the whole driving school, and that basically I don't know if it's changed because back then I needed 18 to 20 hours of driving. I got that already. So when I went through all this rigmarole and then had to go through my G1 again, unfortunately, I know how to drive already. I have those skills. It's just kind of like I'm rusty at them. So I will probably do 1 or 2 at like lessons at a driving school. But besides that, I'm just doing it with people around me, and I'm okay with it. What are some of the red flags to watch out in a relationship? That's tricky because depending on the relationship, right? I mean, there's always that trust, right? So like nowadays people are very guarded by their technology, and depending on the age, right? So, but like again, if they're telling you what to wear and what to do and who to hang out with, that's kind of a red flag. If you're older, even if they don't want to show you like the phone, I mean, I guess, there could be business stuff on it, but like, have that thing like, hey babe, you can look at my phone type of thing. Like, I don't give a shit, right? That type of thing. Like, it's not a big deal. I mean, like, whatever, right? Just like the whole trust thing. Trust is really important. So if you don't trust your partner, that's a red flag. There's just a whole bunch of like little things. And I think the main thing is, again, I'm not like a professional counselor here, is trust your gut. If your gut is sending off like flares of like, meow, meow, evacuate the premises, listen to that. Or like kind of have that serious conversation with your partner, right? But honestly, number one, listen to your gut. If your gut tells you to fucking run, right? Again, I'm not a professional, so I don't know exactly every red flag to look for, but I think it's honestly sometimes common sense. And I know how it's kind of like, well, Jess, you didn't listen to common sense. Yes, I know, I did not listen to common sense. Again, stupid and 14. What do you expect? But yeah, if you're older, kind of common sense. I know that kind of sounds very like, well, no shit. But again, sometimes you can lose that in like the whole lovey-dovey hurts and like, ooh, he's so, or she's so, it can be that type of thing. How can you tell if someone's broken inside? Unfortunately, you can't. And I know that kind of seems like really, a lot of people are really, really good at not showing how like sad or angry or frustrated they are on the inside. A lot of people are guarded with that. Sometimes their actions, if they're drinking a lot, if they're doing drugs, that's kind of like something's wrong, right? Honestly, I think one of the main things, I know this is gonna sound weird, but you can tell it in the eyes that they are very sad or something's going on. Usually, I know, you don't want to be like, staring at somebody like that, right? But sometimes the eyes can just give it away. But again, unfortunately, you can't always tell when somebody's broken inside, guys. Again, not a professional, but that's just kind of like my opinion. What's the most important thing to look in a relationship for? Again, honestly, trust. Trust is the major thing. I mean, that's kind of like the foundation, right, of building a good like relationship. And also I would say open communication, that you can like have a open conversation with your partner. Being able to communicate things, if you're upset, if you're happy, if you're angry, having that open communication, knowing that you can go to your partner and talk about anything. Again, that kind of intertwines with the whole trust thing. When are you allowed to temp your G2? So within the year. So I got my G1, when did I get it? 2-3 months ago. So yeah, around the same time next year. Oh, my foot is asleep. I've been sitting for too long. And sorry, you guys see a cord. That's because I'm charging my phone at the same time I'm doing this. Did your parents ever meet his parents? Oh, my ex. If so, what did you think of them? I think they didn't like meet them like formally, but if they saw them at school events, they were civil to each other. They were nice. It again, you know, it was just a very, you know, they were civil, and you know, they didn't talk trash to each other about it. They were just very civil and nice and respectful and polite. So it wasn't really a thing. But yeah, you know, they seemed really cool. Do you think your Exos fans watch your videos? That's a question I get asked quite a bit, and to be honest, I don't know, and I don't really care. I know how that sounds, guys. But yeah, I mean, I spent so long not really, you know, being afraid to share my stories and my experiences and whatnot. And I know some of them try to keep tabs on me, and tabs, I mean, you know, they check my social media, they try to text me, sometimes they try to call me. I don't know who's, of course, because they would be calling from unknowns. It's just sometimes what I hear from the grapevine, that they're asking questions about me or whatever. So am I surprised? Would I be surprised if they found my videos? No. They haven't reached out to me about them. So there has been no contact in that aspect of like, they haven't reached out and started talking trash about me or whatever. So again, I knew that was a possibility and a risk when I decided to do these videos. But no, I am safe. They have not reached out to me. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if they found them. And yeah, they can think whatever the hell they want. I stopped giving a crap about what they think of me a long bloody time ago. What is your New Year's resolutions? Oh, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't really make those. I mean, like, I have like goals in the back of my head of like, oh, you know, maybe I'll do this next year. Hopefully I'll have this by then. But I don't necessarily, I leave it very open-ended. So it's like, you know what, if you don't reach that, or something comes in the way, or something comes up, I don't put that pressure on myself. I'll be like, you have to get it done a certain way. So I leave it very open to like, you know, you could get it done this year, and if something comes up, that's okay. I don't put that pressure on myself of, if it doesn't happen, you know, I feel like a piece of crap. And I get pissed off because it's like, oh, that was your New Year's resolution, you know, and how people like, oh, they don't meet them. And I just itched my nose. That was, sorry. You know, so I don't put that pressure on myself. Oh, okay. So this next question, I need to kind of give it a little bit of background. So there was a video I did, I think, about a month or two ago of, so this was, I think, pre-prom? Yes. So this was pre-prom and pre kind of, no, there was no contact order, but they basically pulled my ex out of class, pulled me out of class, and there was this teacher, and basically sat us in a room, and they wanted us to like talk about our feelings, because they thought, you know, we still had feelings for each other, and that we needed to put all the bullshit that was happening behind us and to be friends, to basically put on this happy face and act like everything is okay. Because I think the school was starting to not enjoy it, right? That I was complaining, and I don't know if anybody was sniffing around. I don't honestly, I don't know. But to me, it's like they wanted to shove everything underneath the rug and just pretend that everything was okay. So basically the question was like, when we were sat down in this room, and like I basically confronted that my ex and his friends were abusing me and assaulting me, and I said it to his face, like basically what did he do? He literally did nothing. He kind of like sat there and rolled his eyes and like listened. And again, I wasn't very loud. Like I wasn't like, you know, emotional, but I was just stating the facts, right? And I wasn't being aggressive at all either. And I was very strong, not loud, just strong behind my words. And he did not like that. He basically just said I was overreacting, that I was taking it the wrong way, that just because he was dating somebody else, that I was making up all these, you know, kind of lies and stuff. And I was just over exhilarated, because basically he told me that I went behind his back to basically screw his brother. And that's not how that went. So, because his brother was part of this group of 6. I've stated that in a few videos, but if you guys are just joining in, that is context behind it. So, yeah, that's basically whatever he called me, a whore. That it was my fault because I was, you know, screwing his brother, apparently, and I was, you know, the whore. That was basically his reaction. Sorry, my voice is getting lower. It's like late at night when I'm filming this, so I'm losing it a little bit. Anyways, yeah, that's a lot of the questions though. We tackled that real quick. Wow. But yeah, those are some fun questions, huh? I'm just quickly going through to see if there's any more. I actually honestly thought that was going to take us a lot longer, but you know, here we are. But yeah, I hope those are some good questions that you guys, good answers, I should say. If you want me to expand on any of that, let me know. Okie dokie, thank you so much, this computer. I don't want to, there was one question I just got asked, so just let me look for this. I know it's a, you know, very dramatic thing, but right. So basically, there was a question that basically said, you know, do I think that our criminal system needs more training in mental health? And the answer is yes, a big fucking yes. I think that there are a lot of situations that aren't handled correctly. That I think even before we get to, like, let's say the courts and stuff and all of that, I think that all officers should be trained, that if they do get called to, a mental health call, they know how to handle and talk to that person instead of just shooting first. Or not shooting first, but like if, the person is getting very aggressive, that they just don't shoot them, right? That there's other ways of handling it. I think, honestly, all officers should be trained to handle situations like that. Obviously, I think there should be like a professional on hand, of course, more professionals, but I think that officers should have a baseline and a little bit more above that to be able to handle situations until maybe like a much, in-depth person could handle that. And I think that will make a big difference in how it's transferred into the court system. But I honestly, guys, no court system is perfect. No law system is perfect. But honestly, I think how they handle some of the cases is really inappropriate. And how I'm stating that is because, honestly, there are criminals walking around on us. I mean, serial killers, no bullshit, and people that have done murder because they got off on a technicality of they weren't mentally there when it happened. So let them go into an institution for a year or two, and then magically they're cured and everything is okay. And as long as they take the medication, they're fine. But when they're released, nobody's watching them. That's just a load of bullshit. And, a lot of them do reoffend, and they do hurt people. And I think that there should be a whole guard system there of, like, just because you're showing indifferent to mental health or your mental status, that you should be free to go, basically. I don't think that is fair or right to the families that have been affected by that person. Do I think people can be rehabilitated? Of course. But there are situations like murderers, rapists, go down the list, that I think they need, to be in an institution or in jail. Because, basically they've shown that they cannot be out in the public. And yeah, that's basically that. So I'm going to leave this Q&A here. And I really hope that this gets good answers. Of course, remember, feel free to leave a comment and let me, if you want me to expand on something, I will in the comments, or I'll do a complete other video. I do have a whole list of videos that I plan on doing. I'm going to continue up to the new year and so on and so forth. So feel free. I'm going to be doing a video on anxiety versus severe anxiety, stress, online dating, idols / heroes. If there's any other videos you want me to do, please feel free. And I'll leave it there. So anyways, thank you for joining me on my birthday. I love you guys. Remember, never give up. Always keep fighting. You're enough and you're very much loved. Until the next video, I love you guys. Oh my gosh.